All right, so Will here with IntoMobile. We're here at the Tapulous headquarters. Tapulous makers of popular iPhone games like Tap Tap Dance, Tap Tap Revenge 1, 2, and 3, and recently Riddim Ribbon. I'm sitting here with CEO Bart Decrem, and he's going to take us through kind of what life is like here at Tapulous and kind of just generally chit-chat about what's going on with you guys.
Yeah, thanks for stopping by.
Yeah, thanks for having me. We had a nice little chat over lunch just now where we talked about kind of where Tapulous has come from and the future of Tapulous. Can you tell us a little bit about what it's been like kind of coming from a small iPhone developer to one of the biggest names in the App Store?
Yeah, well, it's June 29, 2007, I think. You stood in line and I was anxiously awaiting and managed to sort of skip the line, but I think all of us were really excited when the iPhone came out. And for me, within the first couple of months, it became really obvious that this was going to be big. And I figured that the iPhone was really going to be a disruptive force and really mark the beginning of the mobile decade. And so that's why myself and Andrew and the rest of the early folks here, we started the company in January, so of 2008, 6 months before the App Store launched. Right. The idea was, all right, the App Store is going to be big. It's going to mark the mobile decade. We don't know exactly where the opportunity is going to be, but we want to be there because we're excited about the device and about the opportunity. And I would say the last 2 years have been a total roller coaster. But everything that we hoped for has sort of played out in spades. And the App Store has been very disruptive, and the iPhone and the iPod Touch. And here we are now where Android started to look very interesting as well. So we're 2 years into the mobile decade now.
So, Android's getting a lot of traction right now, and I know you guys are thinking about dabbling in the Android space. Do you guys have anything you can talk about right now?
No, we haven't sort of pulled the trigger on anything. In general, I believe that 2010 will be the year of the iPhone OS. Okay. Right? And so I very much think of the iPhone and the iPod Touch and the iPad, that's one platform, right? And I think it's going to increase in market share in 2010. I'm fundamentally bullish on Android as well. I have an Nexus 1 and I really like it. I think in some regards it's ahead of the iPhone. On the whole, I think it's going to take the bulk of sort of 2010 to really get the Android platform to be competitive. The Nexus 1, it's got a removable battery, it's got a great camera, it's got multitasking, it's got this rich integration of Google services, it's all really awesome. On the other hand, the overall usability of the product isn't there, typing is really rather painful. And then the marketplace, I think, is kind of broken. There's not enough good apps and it's really hard to transact. So I think it's going to take 2010 to figure that out, and I think 2011 there's going to be two platforms that are winning, and I think it's going to be the iPhone OS and Android, and there's probably room for a third one, right? But I don't know who that is, right? There's Nokia and there's Windows and there's Palm and there's a number of other platforms that are all trying to be in there, but I think iPhone OS is for sure a big winner here. For the next decade, and Android I think will do well as well.
Great, and you guys, when you started out, like you said, there was no app store, and you guys actually started off with a couple social networky type of apps like Twinkle and Collage. So how's that evolved from going from those apps to where you're at now, where I guess you're kind of going for a social gaming experience? Is that?
Yeah. When we started the company, we always knew we wanted to build a social network.
Right.
And so the original idea was we're going to build something that looks kind of like RockU or Slide on Facebook, where you're building widgets, simple little apps that all connect into their own common backend, which is a social networking backend. And that was the original vision behind the company. And of course, Tap Tap eventually took off, and we put all of our energy behind that. And so
too big to ignore, right?
That's right. We had a couple of months into it, we had a couple 100,000 users on Twinkle and Collage, and we had a couple of million users on Tap Tap Revenge. And so we decided, wow, if we can build that out and get to 10 million people, that's so powerful and valuable. And so that's what we did in 2009, and we got to 25 million people, right? So we blew that number away. And every time we've put a number, we've sort of blown it away, and that's one of the really awesome things about the App Store. But so the vision behind the company now is that a fundamental belief that in the same way that 2009 was sort of marked by Playfish and Playdom and Zynga figuring out what social gaming meant on the web, I believe over the next 12, 18 months, somebody's going to figure out what social gaming looks like on mobile, and it's going to be big.
Right.
Yeah. Right. And so our goal is to be the leader in social gaming on mobile.
Okay, great. And the gaming push, it's going very well for you guys, and with other form factors coming out, namely the Apple iPad. There's going to be all these apps are going to be and games are going to be ported over to the iPad, but then there's the opportunity to make iPad specific apps.
Yep.
Is Tapulous going towards the iPad at all? Is that on your radar?
Very much so. I'm like you, I think, very excited to see the product launch. I can't wait to get my hands on one. I think in general, for me, it's part of the iPhone OS story, right? And this is the iPhone OS. This next generation OS is going to be one of the dominant OSs of the next decade, if not the dominant one. It's taking mindshare away from, you know, my laptop on the one hand and the TV on the other hand. And so, to me, that's the significance of the iPad. What we do primarily on our computers is changing.
Right.
And I watch myself sort of watching TV at home at night, and you want to figure out who the Olympic skater is, and so you look it up on Wikipedia while you're watching TV. There's a whole bunch of things that we're doing on computers that are becoming much more central to how we use our computers than they were even a couple of years ago. And the iPad and the iPhone OS is very much part of that wave. So I think it's a winning platform. It's a really cool looking device, and for me it's an opportunity
it's a sexy beast,
it's an opportunity to get into the living room. And some of the time that people today are spending playing, you know, Guitar Hero or DJ Hero or Rock Band and those sorts of games on console, it'll continue to move towards these form factors, including on the iPad, and that's a great opportunity for us.
Right. The opportunity is there, not just in gaming, but you know, other types of apps. Is that also you know, the non-gaming apps for the iPad? Is that something you guys are considering?
Not really. We're focusing on, like I said, we believe that the thing that we're really good at is we've built the biggest network on the iPhone.
Right.
25 million users. Every third iPhone or iPod Touch has some version of Tap Tap Revenge. Go out and ask sort of kids in the street, and they know our game. So what we have built is we've built a really big distribution channel, and a really big brand on the App Store. And so now we want to build on that and really build a big gaming network on the iPhone.
Well, that makes sense. You know, you got to go with what works, right?
Yep.
So lastly, Riddim Ribbon, the name.
You know, we have a contest going on YouTube for the person that can say it the highest number of times in a row without stumbling. I can do it 3 times. I can do Riddim Ribbon.
I want to hear you say it 3 times fast.
Riddim Ribbon, Riddim Ribbon, Riddim Ribbon.
You,
Second.
Almost.
Some pressure, man. So we have a contest on YouTube, and you guys should join because I think we're giving away some prize if you can say it there. The person can say it the highest number of times in a row. It's really a tongue twister. The name came from will.i.am. So the game was produced. You know, it came out of a brainstorming with Will and myself, a couple other people from the company here, sitting down and saying we want to do something together. Because Will and us, we've been friends since the beginning of the company.
Right. You guys have featured their songs on all your titles, right?
Yep. And then so we got excited about this game idea, and we came up with that. And then Will came up with the name of with the idea for the name.
The tongue twister.
The idea is that it's a ribbon and it's rhythmic, but then it goes back to the reggae. To reggae slang, Jamaica slang, and so we wanted to work that in there. It's a really fun name, but yes, it's hard to say 3 times in a row.
So, are you guys going to expand on that?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, the thing that's been different about us than most other folks on the App Store is that rather than trying to crank out sort of game after game after game, we really believe in building a platform and network. And as part of that, we've invested aggressively. I think we've done something like, I don't know, 30, 40 different versions of Tap Tap Revenge over the last 18 months, right? So we've invested and innovated probably more in that title than anybody else on the iPhone. And so we're going to do the same thing here. I fundamentally believe that Riddim Ribbon is going to be really big. And
the
that
next
means
wave for Tapulous.
Yeah, and so this was the first release. And in the same way that for Tap Tap Revenge we have the free game, and then we have special editions. In a way, this first version of Riddim Ribbon, it is the Black Eyed Peas edition. And so we're hard at work on the general release of the game. It's going to come out in the next couple of months, and we're going to build a social community around it. We're going to keep tweaking the game to make it even more fun. And I think it's going to be really, really big.
Great. So there you have it. That's a quick little talk with Tapulous CEO Bart, and where Tapulous is going with the Riddim Ribbon titles coming up, and also iPad apps in the near future. Thanks for sitting down with us, Bart.
Thank you.